It's race day here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, a track that's certainly seen a fair share of electrifying races over the past few years, and there are no doubts that today's race will be just as brilliant. The Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, a track that will certainly force the drivers to push themselves. It consists of a very impressive main straight going into turn 1. It's a straight that also offers a DRS zone, so it's likely to be a hotspot for overtakes.
Hello everyone and welcome to the stream here on IG8Live Esports this evening with NOMEX Racing Realistic Division for the Spanish Grand Prix. We are having some minor issues on the stream, since I'm hoping everything goes well. It's been happening for a little while now. I'm gonna have to probably switch the way we do this. I'm not sure exactly what it is yet, but I'm trying to figure that out as we go. Either way, we're on with a short qualifying session today because of our number of drivers in the session. We got 13 drivers in, so we're gonna be doing a short qualifying, then getting to our 50% race, and I'm seeing that we might be having some rain in the session. I hope we do. Might make things a bit interesting there as well with the 13 that we got there. So so far so good. We got quite a few cars out on track, trying to get the lap times in, so we'll see how well the grid will be sorted for that race in just a bit. We should have the lap times start to come in pretty soon, as at least 3 of our drivers are currently on qualifying laps as we have them going. Welcome Ace, welcome Wes on the stream. Good to have you guys on. I think still on with Cave Maestro at the moment. Let's see where his lap time is going to be. I think he's coming around the final sector at the moment there as well. We should be finishing up this qualifying lap, get a good time in hopefully, and we'll see where the rest of the grid follows on through with him when they come up behind and get across the line there as well. We should expect some pretty close gaps in the lap times for this qualifying session. It is a short qualifying session, so they're going to be a bit more of a rush with it. It's a 120.1 here for Cape Maestro in the Williams. See who's going to be the next driver to get across the line. Might be Kinamura there, as he comes around sector 3 at the moment in the Aston Martin. He's be keeping it pretty clean, or as clean as he can at the moment. Let's see, he goes across the line. Where does he go with this? It's a 120.002, not too far, just by a tenth. That currently separates them. So as I said, they're gonna get be in a bit of a rush to get the lap times in, and they're gonna have to make sure they get a pretty good lap time in as well, with a limited time that they have in the qualifying session, just to make sure they can get us sorted for a good track position with the start of the race. It's a bit twitchy there, lose the car, but already get a lap in. Needs to get a car back to the pits though, for a lap time to stay. Who's gonna be our next driver to get across? And I thought it was gonna be Ice 1. Ace invalidated. Let's see, it might be Gobi getting across next. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted. I'm just trying to keep an eye on the stream at the moment, see what the heck is happening there. Alright, so the Red Bull is off, so unfortunate for that. Got Marcel here, where he is gonna go with this on the McLaren. Okay, so let's get a good hand on this and see what's happening. So, we got 4 lap times in. We got Kane Moore fastest in the session, 120.0. K Banks second fastest, 120.1. Ice 1 got Simon at 121.5. Gobi, of course, had a spin, so not the best of lap time there from him. Gonna have to wait for a better lap to come in. Let's have a look who else is running on track. Looks like Ace has got another lap going in the Mercedes. He's currently got a purple sector 1. Getting through sector 2 there at the moment. Hopefully, he can get this lap together and possibly bring out a pretty good lap time, possibly put himself up in the top 3, maybe hold it all the way there going to the end of the session. We'll see what's going to happen. It's only 12 minutes that currently remain here in the short qualifying session. We started off at 18 minutes in total for time there. Not too bad so far with the times over. Let's see, we think we can get some better times in. Marceau there with a 135.0. Not the best of time, of course. Gonna push him down the order when the rest of the guys get times in. So he needs to make this much better lap. He has enough time to get this done. See what's gonna happen. Did not see a purple sector 2, I think, from Ace here. Let's see where he does go though with this lap as he gets across the line. It's still not looking to be too bad of a lap. Already on 118, 119, and let's see, he gets across the line. So 120.8. It's not that bad of a lap. He puts him into third for now at least. I think it's gonna hold it there for the moment. Where is Aiden on track? Gonna have a look at him in the Haas here, getting through sector 3. Want to see where his lap time is gonna be, and loses the car a bit on that curve. Nasty one there, but let's see if he can still keep it together enough to get it maybe a 121 even here. And does seem to be right where we expected it to be. It's a 121.001, so close. Literally 1,000th per second in terms of getting into the 120s. Not bad of a time there. Who else currently running a lap here? Oh, Kodo here goes 120.003, a 1,000th of a second slower than what Kinomura has there, and that is of course for second place right now on the grid for the start of this Spanish Grand Prix. Kinomura of course holding on to provisional pole at this point in time and really not looking too bad with that lap time. They were looking pretty competitive with the grid here, even though there's only 13 drivers on it, but still I gotta say it's pretty competitive with the lap times out in front so far. Want to see what's gonna happen with that. K-Meister of course on another outlap there. He's definitely trying to get a faster time in. Smith goes fourth fastest now, right, and it's a 120.339 for him. For Alfa Romeo driver there. Ace is now down to 5th, Iceland down to 6th, Aiden down to 7th. Govey of course 126.7 so far, needs to improve his time. Marceau there, he's still got to improve that time. They're on with Scooby right now. And in the next Mercedes, let's see where he can put his car. His team is up into 5th right now for the start of this race. We got a lot of time left here still, but a decent amount of time at least. So we'll see how the rest of the session goes with the guys here. Welcome to everyone joining us here live on the stream. If you're watching the video later on, whatever it is, please guys make sure you leave a like on the video there. We do appreciate you guys doing that, and make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. And yeah, thank you guys for the support for that. Okay, it's back on this. Scooby a 121.2. Not a bad time here, but still that puts him into P8 only there. Was we got Cavallan and West on track here right about now, trying to get their lap times in. I think we got West in front of Cavallan there at the moment. Yep, we do. Cavallan, of course, on a purple sector there with sector 1, so he's looking pretty good with that lap time. Gonna stay on with the West here in the AlphaTauri though. He's finishing off sector 3 right about now. Want to see how good that lap time is gonna be. Got 8 minutes left here in the qualifying session, so really not a lot of time left. Probably just 1 or 2 more qualifying laps to get in before this session closes off, so they gotta get move on with it, and we'll see what's gonna happen. They're waiting on West right now to get across the line. We'll see what his lap time is as he gets around that final turn. Looking pretty good so far. Might be in the 120s, low 120s maybe, and it is 120.142, and that puts him up into 3rd on the grid for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix, which is not a good position, not a bad position actually to be starting it, but I'll say he might be pushed down just a bit more as the rest of the drivers come and get more faster times in at the end of the session. So we'll have to probably get back out and give that one more go. We'll see what's going to happen. But so far, Kinomura holding on to provisional pole. Alcas Cavallan now gets across the line with a 119.8. Pretty good time from him. Impressive time, actually. The only driver to get into the 119s here at Spain. So Kinomura now down to 2nd for the start of this race. Got Kodo down to 3rd. We got West 4th. Cave Meister 5th. Smith in 6th. Aiden in 7th. Ace in 8, Ice 1 9, Scooby in 10th, Govi 11th. We got Marzo in 12th. Not a better time as yet. Trying to get one there right now. Naismith in the pits there still. Let's see when he gets out and what his time is going to be. I think Ice 1 might be on a lap. I'm trying to have a look here. Does look like Ice 1 in the Alpine is on another lap. They're trying to get better time in. But either way, so far so good in this qualifying session, gotta say. Once again, guys, we are on with NOMEX Racing Realistic Division here on Monday. Every week we do this at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It would be around 8 p.m. UK time. We usually do a full qualifying session and a 50% race. Today we're on with a short qualifying session just because we're a bit low on driver count for the session itself. Hopefully getting some more drivers in, we can have a full grid going from next week. Once again, we'll see what's going to happen. Hopefully that sorts itself out, or we'll try and get some work done on that as much as we can. But for the moment, this is what we got going here. Previous realistic division race is on the channel, guys. If you guys do want to have a look at it after this, it was a pretty good race last week. Get quite a few 120s here on the. What on earth are you kidding me? I'll be back in a second, guys. Let me see what the heck is up right now. Because I know it's not the internet right now. Because if it was the internet, the stream would have been having a problem. The stream is now not having a problem. Oh, let's switch this off for a second. Okay, it's back on again. So let's see what we did miss and what's happening. Is we got 30 seconds left here in the qualifying session. Let's just leave that as it is there at the moment. Let's see what's happening. So, great order as we have it. Let's see what we got going on. So 20 seconds now left. Kavalan currently on provisional pole. Naismith currently second fastest there. We got Aiden currently third on the order for the start. Keaton Moore fourth. Kodo in fifth. West up to sixth. Well, down to sixth, I'll say. Meister in seventh. You know, trying to get the final lap started there, and a few orders changes as we go along. Let's just have a look at this at the end of it. Marcel, of course, not able to get a much better than a 125 to get that done is out of the session. So qualifying, of course, over here at this point. Sorry about the disconnection there, guys. I'm not sure what happened. After yes, we start the entire console just to get back onto the lobby. We're gonna just have this load on through, and we're gonna have a look at the qualifying results, and then get straight into the formation lap and the race session here for the Spanish Grand Prix, because I'm really not sure what's going on. Been having just about a few weeks of streaming in terms of issues happening. It's not the stream having an issue, it's the game having an issue. So I'm not sure what's going on. Hey Ethan, what's up? Oh yeah, I saw Ethan join on the session. As Letty, I think his PSN is, so he's going to be joining and starting at the back of the grid down in 14th. So hopefully he makes up some places on that race start. We'll see what's going to happen. I'll keep an eye on him and see where he gets, where he's going to get by the end of the first lap at least. Where's we're starting? We're starting in 9th. He's down to 10th. Let's see where these two are going to be at the end of the first lap. I got 3 of them, and I'm going to keep an eye on just to see what's going to happen at the end of the first lap here. Who is still running on track? Okay, so Smith and Kavalan still in the pits, I guess. Just waiting for the cars to get into the garage there, and yeah, we should be able to get this session on the way. Yeah, so I'm definitely having some issues. I'm not sure what's going on. If it's an issue with multi-streaming when I try to do it, or what's happening, but I definitely am looking into switching the way that I'm doing the streaming here. So I'm gonna probably have to do some testing with this tomorrow and during the course of this week as well. So we'll probably have that time just to figure this out, and hopefully by the time next week we should be good and hopefully not be having any more issues here. Alright guys, so there we go. So qualifying results here for the Spanish Grand Prix weekend. So we got Kavalan there on pole to start this race. Naismith starts just alongside him there in second. We got Aiden will be starting third. Smith there will be starting fourth. Ice1 in fifth. Kate Meister sixth. We got Keaton Moore in seventh. We got Kodo 8th. West there 9th. A starting 10th. Scooby will be starting 11. Looks like Gobi's going to start 12. Marceau starting 13, sorry. If Ethan got in, he's going to be starting 14th. That's if he got in. I saw him join the session. I'm not sure if he's in or not, but let's have a look as we get straight over to the race session now. I think he got in. I'm quite sure he got in time. Yeah, so not the best day right now is streaming, but I'm still gonna keep this going, finish out the stream, because we still got a pretty good race on our hands here. And we can see some rain, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay, so here we go, the formation lap here before we get started with the Spanish Grand Prix here for the realistic division here from NOMEX Racing. I'm trying to get something. What am I trying to get on? I think it was that. Yeah, either way, so let's have a look. So we're having a full wet start. Everyone on the full wet tires there right about now. Not sure if this rain is going to be with us throughout the entire session. Let's see how bad it is. It's actually coming down pretty hard, as you can see. No race line formers here because the race has not started. That's going to just rubber itself in a few laps time. We'll start to see a racing line form on track here, even with all the water on track, so everyone's going to be running on the same line. But yeah, at the moment, there's going to be very little grip out there on track, especially to get this race started and underway. We'll see what's going to happen. So our grid order, as we have it there for the race start for our 33 laps that are coming up. It's going to be a Cavallan starting on pole. Naismith starts just alongside him there in second. Aiden and Smith on the second row of the grid. Ice One and Cape Myson are on the third row. We got Keaton Moore and Kodo on the fourth. West and Ace on the fifth row of the grid. Scooby they're starting in 11. Govey in 12. Marso in 13. And Little Etty, well, Ethan, as we know, will be starting 14th on the grid. Not sure if Ethan's going to be getting a pretty good position at the end of the first lap. I want to see what's going to happen though, because he is starting all the way down in 14th. Well, not really too far down. If it was a full grid, let's say 14th wouldn't be all the way to the back. But yes, he's gonna still have to make some pretty good time. And of course, we know we got a full wet track here, full wet race going on. It's gonna be a little bit more difficult actually to get the positions done, because overtakes are gonna be a little more complicated than just getting past the car on turns. So you gotta just be careful with your tires there as well. So we'll see what's gonna happen. But yeah, this is looking to be a pretty good race session here. And of course, we're going to leave this on position changes. You guys can have a look at that as we get started with this race. Let's get on the frontier. So we got Cavallan on the left hand side there in front. We got Naismith there just alongside him. Of course, we got Aiden and Smith behind. Let's see how well the race start goes between these two as we're waiting for those lights at start. Of course, Cavallan though not the best of start for him, as Aiden is already past him up into second place and is going to try and keep that position as much as he can. I think he's trying to fight Aiden for that position back here, but remember, it's a wet track. They have to be so careful with overtakes at this point here. Cave Meister running 2 positions up here into 4. Keenan Moore is up by 2 positions as well. Looks like Smith, who started out in the front, he's down by 8 positions, all the way down in P12, so did not have the best start there. And of course, Ethan up into 12. Ice One down into 14th. He lost 9 positions on that start. But yeah, worst of all there for Cavallan. He's down to well, he's now back up into second as he's trying to fight with Aiden and Naismith out in front, and I think he's gotten back into second at least. He's trying to get back into the lead here as he fights it with the Haas of Aiden right now. Let's see how well that is actually going. Takes the inside. Looks like Aiden's kept the position so far. Let's switch it on board a bit with these two and see what's happening. So Aiden holds off the lead at the moment. We're still on the first lap, guys, going on through. It's a 33 lap race. Of course, a little rain in the session, or a lot of rain, I'll see. It's going to just make it just a bit longer, but a bit more interesting here as well as they get into lap 2. Aiden leads. Cavallan second, Naismith running third, and it's a pretty close gap with Naismith behind as well. So he's trying to keep Keaton Moore, of course, at bay here. Let's see how well that's actually working for him. Let's keep it at interval, but I don't think the interval is currently correct, so we'll have to just leave it at the point that it is. Keaton Moore, of course, so very close up behind that Ferrari, so he's, of course, going to be looking for an overtake here. Cape Meister coming just behind there as well. I want to see what's going to happen. West is up into 7. I think Ethan just gained a position off of Scooby there into 9th. Let's have a quick look at that. So the Red Bull is up a position, of course, chasing after Smith now, who started much out further out in front on the grid. Not having the best of races here, but he's still trying to fight his way back up right about now. Let's see how that's going to work for him, as Smith has a pretty close gap with West there. Trying to keep that going. What is going on with our interval times here? As you can see, the Alfa Romeo trying to go around the outside of the AlphaTauri, almost having some contact there, very close as to get it wrong. Very little room as well for the Alfa Romeo driver there, Smith, as he still is pushing on through on the inside now against the AlphaTauri. He might just be able to pull this off as he now gets ahead. Actually, he does get it to 7. So West has let it go, has just taken back 8 here. Didn't want to fight that too much and risk something bad happening in the race session. With this amount of rain, they have to be extremely careful right about now. Aiden, of course, still leads here. Doing pretty well in the wet, I gotta say. Cavalin, of course, chasing him down the start to finish straight here into turn 1. It's a pretty close gap. It's a 210 gap. There's, of course, gonna be no DRS advantage given to them since it's gonna be raining possibly the entire race session here, as far as you can see. Because I don't see this rain easing off at any time soon as far as we have it going here. I gotta say though, it's been a pretty good race start for the 48 drivers we had start the race. We haven't had a single safety car or VSC in the past 3 laps, and usually we have those things happen in the first lap of a race start like this, you know, in this kind of condition. But I think it's going pretty well so far. Trying to keep an eye out in front here. It's only a 10th between Cavalin and Aiden. This, of course, is for the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. Cavalin there starting out front in P1. He wants that position back. He wants a race win here and a wet Spanish Grand Prix. I think he's going to fight as much as he can to get it on. Of course, Aiden there, I think he started down there in third, which he did. Got up into the lead here, and I highly doubt he is interested in giving back that position. He's possibly going to try and keep it out there as much as he can. Everyone basically running on the same strategy right about now. There's the same tires being used. They cannot go onto the intermediates, and they definitely cannot go onto the dry compound tires with what we got going on track here. What's happening with K-Meister and Smith here? Bit of a switch, I think, as Smith gets ahead into P5. He's fighting his way back out in front. He started there in P4, from what I can remember. Just behind Aiden. Of course, Aiden got a better start than him in terms of getting up into the lead, as he is now currently 5th. Much further back in the field though, trying to fight for positions. Out in front, Cavalin still trying to fight it with the Haas here for that race lead, and he's really pushing as much as he can right up to the rear of that car, which gives him limited visibility at this point here. In this amount of rain, it's just a bit harder to see running so close behind another car. As you can see, he keeps pulling out onto either the right or the left hand side of that car just to get some good visibility, and now he goes around the outside, tries to get an overtake done here. Will it actually hold? Doors are still side by side and going through this. This is, of course, through sector 2, about to get into sector 3 pretty soon. And they're still side by side and going. Cavalin really pushing for this Marshall out of this race. Unfortunately, that's happened down there in sector 3. This might just lead to something happening on track. I think his car is actually still moving, so he might just be pushing that car into the pit lane maybe. Either way, let's keep an eye out in front here between Cavalin, Aiden, and Naismith. These are the top 3 who are fighting for the lead of a race, and it's going pretty well so far, we gotta say, because Cavalin there running in the lead. Aiden now down to 2nd. He's trying to fight him back for that position. Aiden got the lead off of a bit of a lucky start which he got. Cavalin did not have the best of starts there, so he lost the lead, but he's now gotten it back and possibly going to try to keep it. Got a Ferrari of Naismith though coming down there in 3rd. I'm quite sure he's going to be trying to get past the Haas. I get another position up here if he can. As we go down that start finish straight into the next lap, he takes it on the outside of the Haas, hoping to get an overtake done. And looks like he might actually get it done before they get on to the turn. Yeah, they do get it done before they get into turn 1. So really not a bad overtake from him there. So we got the car off track there. That's a Mercedes. Was it the Mercedes of Ace? Let's have a quick look. I'm not sure. I think it was, because he used a bit ghosted there, trying to get that going here at the moment. What is happening down in the midfield? We got a spin there from Smith. Unfortunate for that, he was doing so well working his way back up the field, but the track is very wet, so very difficult to keep a car as stable as you can getting on through here. Let's have a look at the rest of the grid though. Ethan here in 6th. Photo there in 5th. What's happening with these two at the moment? The Red Bull really trying to get ahead here. He started there in 14th on the grid there a little at the end. He's really trying to push his way forward, see where he can get this car. Can he finish on a podium position here today? It's quite possible the way he's going and running in a wet race, and he's already up into 6th from 14. So he's definitely pushing as much as he can in that Red Bull, trying to get up at least to 3rd. And quite surprisingly, we haven't seen a single penalty in this race section so far. I'm quite sure we had maybe a few warnings here, but these guys are being super careful on the brake in terms of getting around the track here, trying to keep their cars out of any trouble, but of course trying to make some overtakes moves as we get on through. And you can see on the track here, the racing line starting to form out through on the track because everyone currently driving on the same portion there. So hopefully might lead to some improved grip with these tires here, and maybe some better racing as we get on through, and maybe definitely should give some faster lap times here as well. Of course, the car is running now less on fuel as the fuel starts to go down as you get through the entire race here. The closest gap as we have here with a Red Bull, and I think there's a Haas in front of him. Yes, it is. He's trying to push on the inside. Can he get it done? No, he can't. He's going to hold it off here in P6 and just keep this going. He's right up to the rear of Kodo's car. Now pushes around the inside of that next turn. Side by side with him, and is going to keep it on the inside. Try to outbrake him a little bit maybe here, but still holds it on through the house. Still fighting for the position though. And unfortunately, that fight is going to come to an end now as the Red Bull gets up into P5. He is up another position here from a 14th, and definitely another 2 positions. He can get a podium finish here if he keeps his race as clean as he has it going there right now, and just keeps that pace going. So Cavalli out in front, still leading the race. Naismith still running second in the Ferrari. Aiden in third. Not the best of positions that from which he started there, but yeah, just 1 position down. It's really not too bad. Still on the podium. Cavemeister running 4th right now. I think he's a few positions down though, but he's doing pretty well. Aiden, of course, already behind the Williams, the Cavemeister, and he's definitely going to try for an overtake here. The Red Bull has some significant pace in this race. Not sure where he's getting it. Maybe it's a setup that he has in that car, but it's doing him pretty well. He's already right up to the rear of the Williams and possibly going to try for an overtake. Getting into turn 1 on a lap 7, maybe. Let's see what's going to happen here. So he keeps that slipstream going, has that advantage, pulls on to the inside of turn 1, and looks like he definitely will be able to get that move done, as he now gets ahead already before getting into turn 2. So the Red Bull of Eaton is already up into 4th. He's doing super well at this point. That's someone falling down the order there. I think that's Kodo into the pits, possibly. Yes, it is. So currently lap 7, these tires are going to start to get a bit used here right about now. We might start to see some pit stops pretty soon. But of course, race strategies is the same for everyone, because everyone's going to have to be running on the full wets. It's only if this rains really starts to ease off and the track is going to start to dry out a bit, then we're going to have to switch on to those green walled intermediate tires for the race. But I don't see that happening at this point. I mean, it seems like the rain might have eased off just a little bit here, but it's still going pretty strong. So I think we're still going to be on the full wets for quite a bit more in this race session. I think something's happening there. Definitely something happened with Aiden there. Lost the car and went off track just a bit, so he's gotten it back going again, of course. Running P8, of course, though. Yeah, so some really good qualifying positions for some of these drivers. But of course, the wet track here proving to be a bit of a challenge for them as they try to get on through. We got Kodo here following on with, I think it's Kobe in front of him. The Mercedes was just away there. They've lost 1 driver from the section so far, so not too bad. 13 drivers still remain in this. As you can see, they are really struggling to keep these cars as stable as they can. Kodo, of course, trying to push as much as he can. They're really trying to get past that Red Bull. He's trying to use the slipstream a little bit here, as we got someone exiting the pits there, and I think that was the teammate there for Gobi. That's Ethan there getting out to the pit lane. So now he has 2 Red Bulls behind him. This is not good for his race, because of course one of those Red Bulls on fresher tires will Gobi let Ethan get by. And I think they might be doing they are doing a switch. The Red Bulls have done a switch, so Ethan's been allowed to go by here. Bit of a strategy from the Red Bull team as Gobi goes back down to 9th. Lets his teammate go by, because his teammate just came out to the pit lane with fresh tires on. And yeah, of course, he's going to have a bit more advantage in terms of chasing after this Haas and getting this overtake done. As you can see, Gobi left in a bit in the background, but the Red Bull of Ethan is still keeping up. At this point, we're out in front of Cavalli and extended his gap a bit. It's only now 3.9 seconds between him and Naismith, and it looks like the race leader is into the pits right now. What's on with West here at the moment? West, of course, chasing after the Mercedes of Scooby. It's a 5:10 gap. Can he get an overtake done here? Visibility, as you can see, not the best right about now, but of course, they still have to push on through. They gotta look at that rain light on the car there and just keep on the racing line, just avoid any spins at this point, and hopefully gain positions as you get on through. Oh, looks like West gets into the pit lane. Okay, back on following on this. So our new race leader there now is Nate Smith in the Ferrari. Cape Meister is now up to second. Cavallo, of course, took his pit stop. He's down to third. But it looks like Nate Smith, our new race leader, is now into the pits. He's gonna try to get a new set of wet tires on. Where is Cape Meister? He continues on through. Does he go? Yeah, he does go into the pits. A bit of a late switch there to get into the pit lane, but he does make that switch. He's gonna go take his pit stop right now. That's gonna put Cavallo back up into the lead of this race as he gets by the pit lane there. Yep, he does get back out into the lead. How far out is he going to go to? It was a 3.4 second gap, I think it was, when he did a pit stop on his previous attempt at that there. And yeah, it's about the same gap between him and Nate Smith right now. Actually, it's a bit more. It's about double right now. So he's gained off of doing an early pit stop from them. We're gonna have a look in a bit to see if this rain is actually easing off or not. It doesn't look like it is though. The Mercedes or Scooby here can't keep ahead of the Red Bull as Red Bull now goes side by side with him, trying to get up into P4 again after doing a stop. I remember Ethan has done a stop already. He's now back out into fourth. We got Kodo and Naismith, I believe both of them might still have to do a pit stop at this point. Well, except for Naismith there, I think he's done his pit stop. Yeah, he has done. Actually, they're both on the pit stop already. So this makes it quite interesting. But the Mercedes or Scooby has not done a pit stop. He's the only driver on track that hasn't done a pit stop in this races yet. But of course, it's not mandatory. It's a wet race. So if he can't make it all the way to lap 33 and those one set of wet tires, he's free to do so. But I highly doubt the tires are actually going to last that long. They will have to do a stop at some point in the session. Or maybe two stops, just depends on how long these tires can actually last for them. So Cavallo back into the lead. 9.2 seconds is what he's leading by, so really not too bad at all for him. Kodo down into third, Naismith in second, Ethan there in fourth. Still trying to get past Kodo here. Of course, if Kodo hasn't taken, but he has taken one stop, so how fresh are his tires is what the question is going to be. We've got Scooby getting into the pits. That's going to put Cape Meister up on other positions. Aiden up a position as well, which I believe Ice One West maybe as well might be getting up another position there. Okay, so still following on with the Red Bull here, still following with Ethan as he really tries to get past that. Honestly, I think most of the race he's trying to get past that one or the other has. He's doing work pretty well so far. Really trying to get into a podium position here as he pushes on the inside. Oh guys, back on again. I'm not sure what happened to the previous part of the stream, but yeah, we gotta have to just restart everything back and get it back going. We're on lap 14 of 33 as we have it there. Cavallo currently leads the Spanish Grand Prix. We got Naismith there running second. 11.4 seconds, but that gap is a pretty big gap, but he's kept a pretty good gap going. Cody there in third. Ethan running fourth here at the moment. He started down in 14, so he's gained about 10 positions so far. Aiden running fifth. We got Cape Meister in sixth. West in seven. Ice One 8. Keenan we're running in ninth. Scooby there running 10, Smith 11, not the best of start for him. Govi 12, Ace running 13, and Marcel of course out of this race. So let's see what's gonna happen as we finish off this session though. We're halfway through the race right about now, at least approaching the halfway point of this race. And the rain really hasn't seemed to ease off any much here because it's really still pouring on track as we can see. Bristleland even starting to go back away right about now as the guys try to get a grip as much as they can with these tires here. Of course, they're not getting as much grip as they would like at this point here, but they're still pushing on through, really trying to fight for position. Let's have a look at Ethan out in front though, fighting it with that Haas for quite a few laps now to try and get into the lead of this race. And he's really not having the best of luck with it, but he's still pushing on through to see if he can get that done. I guess the gap is about 4 tenths right about now. I think it's just going to keep that constant gap going all the way through. Maybe down to the end of the session, we'll see what's going to happen with the way. But yeah, Ethan's doing a pretty good job in that Red Bull so far, really trying to keep the position there. Scooby there, of course, unfortunately out of this race. We haven't seen a single safety car or VSC from the start of this race down to this point. And we're currently on lap 15, right around the halfway point, we should say. And hopefully we can get to the end of the race without this stream giving us another issue here again. I think we'll probably just get both pieces of the video and probably just combine them together and then put it back up on the channel. We'll see what we're gonna do about it. But yeah, I think this is our closest gap. We're trying to keep it right about now because Ethan really trying to fight for that position. Not getting the best of luck in terms of getting past though. I'm trying to keep on board with him a little bit, see as he gets through into the next lap here. As you can see, the Haas trying to keep him out of that slipstream advantage. Still does have an advantage with that going through here. 8's out of the session, unfortunately, there as well. As Red Bull, not enough of a gap there to go on. It was close, but that's not close enough to attempt an overtake into turn 1. He's going to keep the position there as he have it right about now. I'm trying to run the inside here. Let's see, is this move gonna actually work? He has a better line here, but a Haas still coming around. I might just be able to get back by. Let's see who comes out ahead. Looks like Ethan is out ahead. He's finally up into a podium position here on track. That's Kodo down to 4th after quite a long battle here with a Red Bull. Aiden, of course, running there behind them, about 9 seconds behind, so he has some time to catch up right about now. Let's go on with West here, as he does have the Alpine of Ice 1 chasing after him. So not the best here situation for him as he's trying to keep this going. And it looks like Aiden is out of the session. I'm not sure what happened to his car there. Okay, so switches back over just a bit. So Ice 1 here, running in 7, West in 6. Let's see if there's gonna be another switch happening between these two. Out in front of Kodo, trying to keep his gap within a second of himself with Ethan out in front. But of course, no DRS advantage. So he does have to just try to hopefully that the pace of the car is enough to actually get him. Another overtake here, and it looks like he's actually losing some time there right now. So not the best of luck in terms of trying to get back that podium place. He might have to just let it go at this point, but I think he's still gonna try to fight through for it. Of course, he's still got quite a way to go here as we're now on lap 17 of 33 getting through this race. Gonna have a look at the back. So we've lost Aiden, Scooby, Ace, and Marceau from the race, unfortunately. Still got 10 drivers remaining here in our wet race session here for the Spanish Grand Prix. Cavallo, of course, having the best race out front by leading by 12 seconds against the Ferrari of Naismith. Ethan running 3rd. Not too bad of a gap with the car behind as he's gaining some time as you get on through this. Meister running in 5th. West running 6th. He's trying to keep Ice 1 at bay, of course. Ice 1 just about 4 tenths behind. And we can see that Alpine closing the gap right now. Okay, so as we have a 5-10 gap between West and Ice 1, I'm trying to see if this is going to stay constant as we have it going here right now. 18 of 23 in terms of laps. It's looking pretty good so far. West looks like he's going to be holding off that position at least for now. Remember, the track is still pretty wet and it's eased off a bit. I mean, they've gone on to some intermediates here as we can see, and it's working pretty well for them. But the rain is still there. It's still coming down quite a lot. The intermediates are working quite well on track though. That racing line is forming out just a bit more as we can see as they get along the track here. Pretty good view from the AlphaTauri of West here to see how fast Ice 1 is coming. Of course, you can see the spray behind the AlphaTauri as well. It makes it very difficult for that Alpine to have good visibility in terms of trying to chase this car down. We got Kodo into the pits there again. See what switch he's possibly doing there right now. Is he getting onto a next set of intermediates here? Because I'm quite sure it's not trying enough for dry tires as yet. If he is going to another set of intermediates to get back out on track. Of course, the intermediates, they burn out just a bit faster because they displace less water on track than those full wet tires that we started the race on. As he gets back out trying to fight with Cape Meister into turn 1. Cape Meister, of course, gets ahead though, splitting off with him and West here. So West is now behind him. West now lost a position. Well, not really lost a position, but he's now having another car in front of him. Instead of fighting with Cape Meister, he now has Kodo to fight with. Instead of going side by side with him, Cape Meister trying to get ahead, of course, on more rubber than tires, but on older tires, of course, those fresh. We got someone off track here, and that, of course, is Kodo here in the Haas. He might have taken some damage there on track, as we got a yellow flag situation here in sector 2, sorry, right about now. But that incident there, unfortunate for that. West now continues on. He goes into P4. Ice 1 chases after him as usual here, where he's about 4 tenths behind. Smith, of course, 7 tenths behind that. As you can see, him is definitely following along, trying to keep up with these two if he can, to hopefully get up another position here. We'll see how well that's gonna go for him though. On up 20 of 33. Seems to be we're starting to run out of laps in this race. We got about 13.5 laps remaining to close off the Spanish Grand Prix here with realistic division for NOMEX Racing. And Cavallan again having the best of races out in front. He's leading by 15.3 seconds. He's going to reach a gap pretty soon where he's going to be able to take a pit stop and still get back out into the lead. Naismith not having any luck catching up to him, of course. Eaton in third. He's trying to keep his podium position. Ice 1 now gets ahead into P4 as West takes a pit stop. Got Smith now running in 5th. Kodo now back up into 6th. Cape Meister, of course, into 7th. West, let's see where he gets back out on track. Might be in P8 there. Keenan Moore running 9th. Govey running 10th. Aiden, Scooby, Ace, and Marcel set out of this race session. Trying to keep the gap between Ice 1 and Smith. It's about 2 tenths, so there the Alfa Romeo definitely looking to get by as he's trying to push through on the inside here. The gap being closed very quickly though by the Alpine, so he's not going to have an easy time getting this done. As you can see, this track is starting to dry out quite a bit more. We might be looking to a switch over to the dry tires before this race comes off to an end, because from what you can see, it's very, very light with a drizzle on track. The racing line is really drying out a lot here as you get on through. As you can see, the Alfa Romeo pushing around the inside and really trying to get this on. That track is definitely drying up. The rain is just drizzling just a light amount right about now, and I think there's a bit more on some portion of the track still, which might affect getting onto the full dry tires here. So I think a few more laps and probably will be good to get onto the full dries and have ourselves a pretty speedy race getting down to the end of the final lap. On with the Alfa Romeo here as he's trying to go side by side with that Alpine into turn 1. Has to just go back behind him, use the slipstream advantage as much as he can here, and he's going to have to pull out on the last second, or is he going to keep the position? He looks like he is going to keep the position going through on this current lap. We still have time yet. It's only lap 21 of 23. He now gets ahead, makes an easy overtake, gets ahead of Ice 1. and he's up into P4. Ice 1 has now lost the position down into P5, of course, and will possibly try to get it back if he can. Let's see what's going to happen. Might have had a bit of a mistake. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm going to be Ethan right now. He chases after Naismith, who is now 18 seconds behind Cavalli, who's leading this race. Let's see what's going to happen if the Red Bull driver gets ahead of Naismith. He does have enough laps to try and catch Cavalli out in front, but will he be able to do it in time? This is going to be depend on pit stops to get onto the dry tires here and what the pace level is going to be. But if we start to really dry out and get to those dry tires, I think it's going to be Ethan a much better chance of possibly catching our race leader there and maybe, just maybe, winning this race. He stands a pretty good chance at this point here, but he needs to get past this Ferrari in front of him. Naismith not making it easy at this point. He needs to close back that gap down to less than about 2/10 to try to find a gap to get by. Let's see how fast he's able to break the gap down. It's about 1.9 seconds, 1.8 seconds right now. Smith, of course, getting the fastest lap there at the moment. Are now on lap was it 22 of 33. Okay, so let's keep on going with this. Looks like the gap is now down to back to under a second. Let's see what's happening. The rain definitely going away here right about now. We should have maybe zero rain in the next 2 or 3 laps. So it's going to be a close call for them switching on to the dry tires down at the ending portion of this race. But it might just be possible we might actually be able to finish a race on the intermediates here as it is. We're only on lap 23 of 33. Got about 10.5 laps to go. So let's see what's going to happen. We might have to switch in to find a few laps to the dries. From what I see happening here on track, I think he might be looking out to Cavalli out in front though as he continues to lead on in the race here, having a pretty good gap himself. 19 seconds is what he leads against Naismith as Ethan now is side by side with that Ferrari, really trying to get by. The Red Bull now pushes as much as he can. He gets up into second position. That puts his Ferrari Naismith down to third. And having to deal with Smith. Smith does catch up to him, but he looks like he's at least going to be getting third position. But things might just stay the way that it is unless we have a full safety car in this session here. Let's slow this entire race down, and it's now 18.6 seconds between Cavalli and Ethan here. This is on lap 23 of 33. We got 10 laps remaining in the Spanish Grand Prix. Can the Red Bull catch the Alfa Romeo out in front? Let's see if that's going to happen or not. But so far so good with what he's done. He started 14th on the grid. He's doing pretty well in terms of catching up and getting into the lead here. He's already on the podium. He's up into second place, not just in third. And yeah, I think it's still going to be a pretty good finish for him, even if he doesn't get into the lead. But a 1:30.073, fastest lap in the session so far for Ethan in that Red Bull, as he's now going to chase after Cavalli out in front. It's quite a big gap to break down in just under 10 laps. But it could just be possible. So let's see if he's going to be able to pull this off or not. Okay, so we're down to about 17.7 seconds. Looks like he has gained at least a second so far from the previous lap. Of course, we're starting to run out the laps pretty soon. Just about 8.5 laps or so remaining in the Spanish Grand Prix. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to break the gap down in time. He needs a few seconds per lap here gained in terms of trying to catch Cavalli out in front. So it's a hard call at this point here for the Red Bull driver, but let's see how close he can get to it. But still, I think it's an impressive drive from him here, starting in 14th on the grid and getting all the way down into second now. And looking to be where he might just be finishing this race. The rain looks like it's 99% gone right now, or probably fully gone there. Just a little bit running water we're seeing on the screen there at the moment. Track definitely drying out. We got Smith at 129.8 so far. Is he still running? Oh yes, he is still running on the intermediates. Want to see if he was switched over to the dry tires already. We might be looking at a switch into lap 26 or maybe into lap 27 onto the dry tires here, just depending on what's happening on track, because I'm seeing it dry enough, at least it's looking dry enough to make a switch over to the dry compound tires here. We might be looking at the switch getting into lap 26. Let's see what's going to happen as our race leader is getting on through here. This is Cavalli here, of course. Let's see, does he go by the pit lane entrance? Looks like he is going to go by. He is not going to take a pit stop on this occasion here. We're on with the Red Bull there in second. 16.2 seconds, but I gap is, and said if we do switch to the dry tires, it's going to cause those gaps to come down even faster. But let's see what's going to happen. The Red Bull continues on through as well, so it doesn't look like they feel the track is dry enough to take the dry level tires yet. Eaton with a 129.6 fastest lap of the session. He is pushing like crazy at this point to get up into the lead here. It's still a pretty big gap to break down, but let's see what's going to happen. A safety car at this point in the race could change a lot of things, so I think Eaton is possibly holding out for that and hoping that he can get right to the rear of Cavalli to get an overtake done in the final few laps of this race. But let's see what's going to happen. So far so good as we have it. Got 10 drivers remaining off of a 14 that started. It's been a full wet start. We switch over to the intermediates just over the halfway point of the race. Now we've kept it going on to this point. Eaton started 14th. Best battle we've seen so far is he fought his way through the grid order. He's up there into second, and yeah, definitely going to fight his way trying to get out in front. Naismith in the Ferrari here running in third right now. Not a bad position for him to finish in on the podium still. Consider where he started there. I think it was in was it right there in third? I think it was in the second. I think Smith there, of course, fourth, 19 seconds behind. Some big gaps that we have though, but usually doesn't happen with this kind of race, being full wet start and whatnot. Got Ice One running in fifth. Caveman still running in sixth right now. Let's see where the rest of the grid order is. Smith running there. Has some good room in front and behind of him. Ice One here in the Alpine. Doesn't have too much to worry about, but Cape Meister 7.3 seconds behind. I don't think he's too worried about it at this point, but he still needs to keep his race pace up in terms of trying to keep ahead of this Williams here. Cape Meister doing a pretty good job in this race so far. Running P6. Archer is trying to fight his way to get another position up if he can. Keenan Moore and Nias Martin running in 7th. Has a bit of a gap to work with towards the car in front. That's of course Cape Meister. Kodo behind of him in the Haas. 6.8 seconds behind. Got Kofi here running 9th with West behind of him, quite a distance behind, but still in the top 10 and running. Looks like West might be disconnected. Oh, he's not disconnected. He just went off track just a bit there. So there is some slight standing water on track still, which explains why they haven't done a stop onto the dry compound tires as yet. There is still a bit of spray coming off the cars, which is not what I'm worried about, but there is still just a little bit standing water on track, which the dry tires will not be able to handle at this point, so they still have to hold off in terms of trying to switch over to the dry tires. We're already on lap 27 of 33. Doesn't look like Eaton's going to be able to get the position done into P1, but of course Cavalli here are going to have a pretty good win. Right there where he started, of course. Eaton there, it started 14, coming all the way up to second. He is going to get driver of the day, possibly fastest lap and the podium position. It's a 3-for-1 in this race for him. So really not a bad evening of racing there for the Red Bull driver. See what's going to happen with the rest of the grid though. As you get on through, looks like Kodo has a penalty there at the moment. Where is Cavalli out in front? Having a look at him. Alright, back on with this. So Ethan here running 15.9 seconds right now. We're still on the intermediates on running here on track. And of course the Red Bull driver getting some faster lap times in as the session comes off to a close. But yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to catch up to Cavalli out in front though before we close off this race. He just doesn't have enough laps to do it. And the pace that he's running at is not gaining a few seconds a lap here, which is what he needs to do at this point if he does want to take that race win. Still getting the fastest lap out there, so not doing a bad session here. Kate Meister here, 7.6 seconds to the car in front, and that's Ice One, of course, in the Alpine. Trying to keep an eye and see what's happening with him as he really tries to fight his way through. Doesn't look like he might be able to gain some time here. That, you see the gap starting to move there a little bit now. Okay, so apologies about that. Back on with the final few laps of this race here. So Cavalli is still leading, of course. Right where he started Ethan there, we had him start down in 14th on the grid. He is now all the way up in the second. Really tried to put the battle towards Cavalli there, but unfortunately not able to break that gap down under 14 seconds. I think is the lowest that he got it down for the past few laps that he's been trying here. And we have not dried out on track enough to go onto the dry tires here. Of course, we did expect this might happen, that we have to finish the race right onto the intermediates. And even at this point, on lap 31 of 32 right about now, no one's going to take a stop at this point to go onto the dries. They're just going to push on through and finish the race on the intermediates as they have it. I'm quite sure they will. We'll keep an eye and see what's going to happen with it. But yeah, Naismith, they're running third, looking to take a podium position here for the Spanish Grand Prix. Really not a bad finish for the top three, Cavalli, Eaton, and Naismith. And of course, Eaton joined on just at the last second there. He didn't even get to participate in qualifying. Ison, of course, going to finish before, as it seems there. We got Smith, though, just about 1.2 seconds behind him. So a bit of a battle we just found here, coming down to the ending portion of this race session here. And it's about a second between the two of them. So let's see if he can get anything done on the penalty lap. Going to the final lap here of the Spanish Grand Prix with NOMEX Racing. And yes, so far, oh, there we go. We got an off from here off track as those intermediates are starting to lose grip now. They just turned on DRS advantage here, so the DRS is now online and available going into the final lap of this race. And this is where the problem stands, because it's now dry enough and safe enough to go onto those dry tires. But I highly doubt anyone's going to make that switch. They're just going to finish the race as it is there right now on the intermediates that they currently have on. Still on lap 32, we're waiting for our race leader to enter into the final lap of this race. I highly doubt, even with a 17.7 second gap, he is not going to go take the chance, I think, to go onto a dry tire here and finish the final lap and allow Ethan to possibly get by him and even making a run the track on those intermediates that he has on and get across the line to take a win here. I'm quite sure he's going to be just getting past the pit lane entrance. Let's see what's going to happen as we have it here, though. Quite sure he's just going to go for it. There he goes. Just goes by. And he's going to finish off the final lap of this race. I'm just going to keep on with him through the session. There we got Smith and Keenan Moore, of course. They're doing a stop, though. Let's have a look. So they're going to the softs here. I think they have the gaps that they have between them. They just have the time to actually make that stop and just, you know, just do one final lap on the dry tires in the race session there. If it was really needed, I'm not sure, but we'll see what's going to happen. Weston did a pit here as well. Or Almir Cavallan here as he makes his way around Sector 2 right about now on the final lap here for the Spanish Grand Prix. Has been generally a wet session all the way through the race. Coming up to the final few laps where we're now starting to drive quite a bit more. And on the penultimate lap is when they turned on TR's advantage. So the drivers know that it's safe enough to actually go on to the dry tires. We have a few drivers did do the switch. But is it actually helping their race? We're not entirely sure about that as yet. We'll see what happens as we finish off this session here right now. And we're getting to Sector 3 at this point with our race leader. 17.2 seconds is what is kept the gap between him and the Red Bull behind there. And Ethan, of course, started 14th on the grid. And looks like he's going to get across the line for a second place finish here, which is really not too bad. So yeah, I think started right here on pole, where he qualified. Lost that lead on the race start, didn't have the best start. He did fight his way back through the field, got back to the race lead, and he's kept it going all the way to this point, built a significant gap, and he now crosses the line to take the win here for the Spanish Grand Prix for the realistic division with NOMEX Racing. Not a bad finish for Cavallan. Little Ethan here. Let's see where he's going to be going as he comes around the final turn. Ethan started 14th on the grid, now going to get across and take second place as a podium position. Not too bad. Naismith comes around. Of course, Ethan gets fastest lap so far, unless someone else. Oh, Kodo takes it away. So 125.1 for him. I think that's on the tri tires. That's why that happened there. Naismith gets across for a third. Ice One will be taking fourth if Dave Meister doesn't get past him. This is going to be a battle for fourth position going all the way to the finish line here. Looks like Smith finishing 6th, Keenan Moore 7th, Kodo 8th, Govian 9th, Weston 10th, Aiden, Scooby, Ace, and Marceau not able to finish the race session. As we get to the final few turns here on Sector 3, the Alpine really trying to hold it out in front of K-Meister right now for that position. Both of them, of course, still on the intermediates. Didn't do a switch here, so they're still fighting for positions to get on through. But looks like the Alpine will be able to finish ahead of K-Meister. He takes 4th. K-Meister will have to take 5th in that aspect there. And yeah, not too bad of a race session, I gotta say though. Quite your driver of the day is gonna go to Ethan there. Yep, it does. Well deserved though, not the bad driver of the day. Okay, so let's have a look at the final results here. Alright, so there we have it, guys. So race winner there, Cavallan there in the Alfa Romeo takes a win here. Started on pole, finished on pole for the team, and yeah, not a bad win for him. Ethan there started 14, finishing in 2nd on the grid. Nate Smith East the second and finishing in third on still a podium position for him, so not too bad for Ferrari. Ice 1 they're finishing 4th, K-Meister in 5th, Smith 6th, we got Keenamore in 7th, Kodo 8th, Govey in 9th, West in 10th. Unfortunate for Aiden, Scooby and the rest of the gang along in the back didn't get to finish the race session, unfortunately, but still it was a pretty good race session. So once again, guys, thank you guys for joining on this session. I'll see you guys on the next stream on Wednesday here on the channel. And we're sorry about the issue we had to cut this video into. We might join them back to get on uploaded as well. We'll see what's going to happen, but either way, that's going to be the end of this session, guys.